Welcome to Sweet Soul Synergy TV, where we aim to bring you inspiring, motivating, and thought-provoking conversations to those seeking higher consciousness. My name is Stephanie, and I'm your host and the owner of SweetSoulSynergy.com. And today my guest theme is Liz Curran. She's the VP of the company Heal Thy Life and a radical remission workshop trainer and health coach. So please welcome Liz Curran. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Liz.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you here. So the first thing I want to do is just start off with your background. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what is the work that you do?
Sure. So I'm Liz Curran. I'm the Vice President, as you mentioned, of the nonprofit Heal Thy Life. And we work together. There's a group of us in South Jersey that work together to, our mission is to fundraise, educate, and support late-stage cancer patients that are seeking integrative and alternative holistic treatments. Just to kind of, it could be in conjunction with conventional treatment or a path that they're seeking solely to be alternative, but we just want to educate and let people know about options that are out there and really support them so they feel connected when they're making a kind of a less conventional choice. Yeah. So that's what Heal Thy Life does. My background, I kind of came to Heal Thy Life through, I lost my sister to breast cancer just about 5 years ago. And after she passed, I found myself kind of struggling with that and what to make of it. And I found myself in a health coaching school and started learning about nutrition health coaching, so dietary coaching, which has been really, really great. So I've worked in that for about 3 years. And currently now I'm working in a community center where I get to work with people from a dietary, like a nutrition health coaching perspective, but also I do a lot of work with their cancer fitness programs. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoyed that as well. And then of course my side hustle is really Heal Thy Life, my passion.
And it's really important to me, and I'm so glad that we're having this conversation because I lost my mom to pancreatic cancer. And I remember the one thing, like as soon as we got into the hospital, the first thing was, well, we don't know why this happened, and you know, these things happen, which nobody wants to hear anymore, and we can talk about that later. Yeah. And the second thing was there were no holistic treatments, and my mom really desperately wanted that, and there was just nothing. And so when I ended up visiting and going to the, I ended up meeting you guys at the Tai Chi.
Oh, right, yes.
Ben Kipnis, because I went to high school with him. And I went just to support, and I was feeling really down, and then I met you guys, and I was like, wow, like, I wish I had known about this, you know, because this would have been so cool. Yeah. So that's something that I think connects people, and because it's something that is connecting so many people, because so many people are touched by it in indirect ways or direct ways, it's such a powerful company, really, and you guys are doing such amazing work. Moving into then, just to touch again on Heal Thy Life, how many people are part of that?
We have a board of 6 of us right now, and then a big team of volunteers. So when we have events and things like that, we have people that are chairing committees, and so I would say, you know, a solid probably 20 or 30 people kind of involved on the fringes and all the way through to the main board.
Oh, that's really cool. And then everybody, are they into just different things, or are you guys all kind of into the same? Is it like everybody's into nutrition, or is it just all different?
No, nutrition is just kind of my forte. Okay. Everybody has a different spin. Our board consists of an attorney.
Okay.
We've had CPAs on our board. Okay. We have people that work, you know, their day job is a business job, and they're also by trade an herbalist. We have a yoga instructor and manager of a yoga facility. So we kind of all have different facets that we bring to the table, different modalities. We also have a massage therapist who's really, really advanced with working with cancer patients on our board. So, you know, really a great mix. And I can't forget our one extra board member who we love so dearly, who's in North Carolina.
Okay.
So we don't get to see a lot of her face to face, but she does a lot of our really great back office stuff.
That's great. And I remember when I met you guys the first time.
Joelle?
Yeah. She was talking about being a caregiver, and that's what I was a caregiver to my mom. People don't realize what caregivers go through, the emotional experience they go through. And I equated to, I watched this program where this one guy was saying that when you are a caregiver, you actually enter the death realms with somebody as they're passing, and it's hard to recover from that sometimes. And so, and I have friends who have gone through that, and I try to be there for them. When I heard that you guys also focus on that, that was important.
Yeah,
you know?
well, for me, especially, that's where I rooted from. And so the caregiver's perspective for me is where I think the support for that person as well is really important. And
Right.
I've worked really hard with our beneficiaries to support their caregivers as much as they desire. Sometimes they want to be really involved and have a lot of support, and other times we just have to give them their space.
Right, absolutely.
But we're there for that exact reason, because we, some of us really understand. We know how painful it is to witness somebody that you care about go through such a very difficult situation.
Absolutely. All right, so let's move into a little bit more of the work. So I'd like to, if you're okay with talking about the whole food plant-based diet now.
Sure.
And the nutritional eating. This is something that we've been eating as long as,
Yes.
humans have been alive. And yet it seems like just now people are starting to wake up to how important nutrition is. When I say just now, I mean people have been doing this for many years. There are people who have been eating very well for many years, and yet it seems like just now people are waking up to it. So can you talk a little bit about nutrition and the importance of nutrition and your view on a whole food plant-based?
So I think that there's no secret that the term SAD, or the standard American diet, is out there, and there's a reason for it. There's a reason it's called SAD and the standard American diet. Innocently, people don't realize the amount of preservatives and toxins in our food that we ingest every day just through common trips through the grocery store. So I think there's a lack of education. There's a lack of people that are cooking anymore. So when you're relying on other people to prepare your food, you just don't know what's in it. From a dietary perspective, my philosophy is very much that everybody has their own perfect way of eating. And I work with people one-on-one to really hone in on what that is for them. The overarching theme amongst all the different fad diets that are out there, and you can be a keto person or you can be a vegan, but the common theme is the more veg, the better. So vegetables, vegetables, vegetables. And if you think about it, we really should be eating from the earth. We want to be eating as many whole things as we can. And that could be a really high quality meat for some people, if that's their choice. Whole food plant-based diet typically is synonymous with more of a vegan lifestyle, food-wise, but without the political tone that the term vegan takes on.
Right.
So I feel like the whole food plant-based term is more rooted from somebody that's looking at it from a health perspective, not
Right.
just necessarily an animal rights perspective, which is also another lovely reason to choose eating that way. So it's really just trying to figure out how to, for my job, what I have to do is really help people figure out what's the best way for them to eat, how to reduce processed foods, how to begin cooking if they don't, how to find time to cook if they know how but don't have time. And time's a commodity these days.
It
So
is. Yeah.
finding ways to negotiate that within your lifestyle to really allow room, because what we eat is really just like the frontier to how our health is going to be inside of our body.
Absolutely. And there's two things I want to say about that. The first is, I know before we had started filming, I mentioned Ayurveda, and the doctor that was talking about that said that food that has life force, that's the food we should be eating. Food that is touched by the sun and the moon. And this doctor said that her mentor was a very strict vegetarian, but that he said even animal products are touched by the sun and the moon. And so if you choose to eat that, it should be high quality, but that the problem that we are having is eating dead food, as they call it, or unintelligent food that has nothing there. It's either toxic or it has nothing to offer us life force, but plants and fruits, vegetables, herbs, things like that are really beneficial for us, and some animal products because of them having that life force. So
I don't discriminate against meat. I'm currently eating a vegan lifestyle right now. It's fairly recent for me, and also there's a lot of people that really do need a strong protein heavy, meat heavy diet. And there's a lot of health benefits to that. It just really depends on who you are and where you're deficient and what your needs are.
Right. Have you ever heard of intuitive eating?
Intuitively, what I know that means. You tell me what.
So intuitive eating is basically, well, first you'd have to really get into that space where you were connected to your higher being or higher self. But it's basically eating from that place of higher awareness instead of, because we do live such very high anxiety lifestyles, they're very fast paced, we're not taking the time to stop and kind of go within. And so we're on the run, we're like, let's eat a burger and fries or something, or let's do this, and we're not stopping to like really say like, what does my body need?
Right.
And I often think about that. If we were really in tune, if we were really slowed down, like some of these other cultures that are really rooted in more tradition and family, or instead of work, they're more like, let's enjoy life, that maybe we would choose foods that we like. If we knew we needed more vitamin B, we might choose that food, based off of that intuitive understanding or intuitive awareness. And so it is something a lot of people do, but it's not something that I can tell you that I can do right now, because I think a lot of us are part of this fast-paced lifestyle, and we're trying to slow down. We're trying to get back in touch with the earth. And
Right. Yeah, I think that intuitive eating sounds very similar to mindful eating, which I'm familiar with that term. And I think that mindfulness in general plays a huge role in, the anxiety piece, the making dietary choices that are positive, reducing your stress level, all of those things. I'm a big believer in mindfulness-based stress reduction, which is a form of meditation known as MBSR. And it's very kind of user-friendly for a non-meditator who's new to it, and very conventional. So it's guided meditation, and it's definitely does not have a religious spin to it. So it's something that kind of everybody can try, and there's a lot of scientific research. It's been backed by medical schools all over the country that have been adopting it for their med students to be going through, A, to reduce their stress level, and B, so that they can pass this on to their patients. And it's been in practice for about 20 years. So as someone who does that, and mindful eating is a piece of that practice, it is really powerful, the ability as you continue to meditate and adopt that practice on an almost daily basis, over time, even as simple as 3 weeks or 6 weeks, you really start to see a shift in your anxiety level. And once the mind is quieted, you really do have more space for, even if your schedule hasn't changed, your ability to process it has been slowed down, and you really kind of more make space for making wiser decisions, whether it's through diet or otherwise.
Thank you to all my sweet souls for tuning in to this episode. See you next time. Bye.